Now what are the things that affect this heart? This heart has, you could say it has two influences. Two influences. One influence is from the needs of the body, and the other is the needs of what? The soul, right? If it listens to the body the whole time, what happens to the heart? It becomes hard. If it listens to the soul the whole time, it is doing injustice to its body. There's another imbalance. There's another imbalance. Now, what influences, these two influences that are trying to win over this heart? The heart is the territory, and you have to share this authority, right? This is the castle you want to win over. And both of these sides are fighting inside of us, right? How do they both advertise to the heart? Allah Azza wa Jal mentions, إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادِ. Hearing and listening, hearing, listening, and seeing. And then He mentions the heart. So how does the message of the world, the bodily desires, how do they enter us? How do they reach us? Either we see what we desire or we hear about what we desire. And how does the needs of the ruh, how do they reach us? We see the truth and we hear the truth, right? So these two mediums are the ones by which the truth is coming to us. Also falsehood is coming to us. Now, revelation is called light. Revelation is called light. Iman is also called light. There's a light inside of us, which is the fitrah that Allah created us with, and there's the light of revelation. When you hear the revelation, it's like, even though it's hearing, the image is that of light entering inside of you. Revelation is light, so light has entered inside of you. And what's already inside, if you're a good person, your fitrah is still intact. Light is inside of you. So when these two lights come into contact, Surah An-Nur describes it and it says, Nurun ala nur. Light upon light. The light of revelation and the light of goodness that's already inside of you, inside your heart. Right? These are the two lights that are meeting. Now, in describing this conflict, the word for the Qur'an is nafs. This conflict that we just talked about, the word that describes that conflict is the nafs. The nafs is being pulled in two directions. When it goes too far in one direction, it starts feeling bad. It starts feeling bad. So it becomes a nafs al-lawwama, a blameworthy nafs, a guilty nafs. Then it pulls itself back and makes tawbah and istighfar and returns to a balance. And what does it become again? An-nafs al-mutma'inna, the tranquil conscience. The conscience at ease. The conscience at ease. But it never stays that way. It's constantly being pulled towards the direction of the body. Now what are we exposed to more? Is more of the desires of our body being advertised to us, or more the needs of our soul, our ruh, being provided to us? Obviously the body. The dunya is bombarding us constantly, right? So Allah mentions an-nafs al-ammara. Okay? Inna an-nafsa la-ammaratun bis-su'. No doubt the nafs, it commands to evil. The way Allah captures that in this surah, it's incredible. He says, فَأَلْهَمَهَا. Then He placed inside the nafs. Put something inside its heart. Ilham is to put a feeling in your heart that is more certain than fact. In English literature, we call it a gut feeling. That's what that is. Ilham is a gut feeling. I just know that it's right. I just know we have to take a left, for sure. You know how you're really, really sure sometimes? That's ilham. Meaning Allah made the nafs aware that it has an evil inclination inside it. It has something inside it that has the capability of fujur. It's already pre-programmed inside, that it has that potential. And Allah made it aware that that potential is there. And when it heads in that direction, there's this alarm system that goes off. You're headed in the wrong direction. That's the guilty conscience. That's the ilham that Allah is talking about. That when the human being does something wrong, even if they haven't studied revelation, even if they're Christian or Jewish or atheist or agnostic or whatever, when they're about to steal, something goes off inside. Something tells them this isn't right. Now Allah says, now the human being will be informed. What did he make a priority out of? And what did he put on the back burner? That's the translation I'll prefer here. Bima qaddama, what did he give priority to? What took taqdeem for him? What was priority number one? What took precedence? وَمَا أَخَّرَ, and what could wait? What were the things that you put on the back burner? The crime of the human being isn't necessarily that he doesn't do a good deed. The human being says, it can wait. I can do it later. The crime of the human being isn't necessarily that he doesn't leave sin. He says, I'll leave it later. Or, let me do what I want right now. I'll do that later. I have time. Taqdeem and ta'khir, not the grammar one. The one for life. Human beings will be thoroughly informed. What were your priorities? What did you put ahead?
What came first for you? What came later for you? بِمَا قَدَّمَ وَأَخَّرَ. The other meaning of قَدَّمَ وَأَخَّرَ in Tafseer Juz Amma I mentioned also, قَدَّمَ also means what you've sent forward. You've done deeds, you've done works, and every one of them are waiting for you. Our deeds are waiting for us. كُلُّ نَفْسٍ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ رَهِينَ. You've sent collateral over. You've sent deeds over for processing. And you're going to meet those deeds on Judgment Day. I don't meet my deeds now, I just do them now. I will meet them then. وَوَجَدُوا مَا عَمِلُوا حَاضِرًا. They're going to be standing face to face in front of their salats. If your salat was lousy, you'll be standing in front of a lousy salat, staring right at you. That's what it's going to be. If you were lying, cheating, backbiting, angry, arrogant, condescending, whatever you were, you'll be looking right at you in the face. And then you're going to say, مَالِ هَذَا الْكِتَابِ. That's the reality of it. بِمَا قَدَّمَ وَأَخَّرَ. What did he make a priority out of? What did he put on the back burner? This is one of those life-transforming ayat. The human being will be thoroughly informed. This was your priority. This is what you spent time on. This is what you did with your free time. This is what you thought can wait. You had all these dreams. I want to memorize the Qur'an. What did you do for it? How many seasons of how many TV shows did you watch instead? That was a priority for you. What you wanted to memorize? Oh, but it can wait though. Inshallah, one day, when my heart is purified, then I shall start. You know? بِمَا قَدَّمَ وَأَخَّرَ بَلِ الْإِنسَانِ. No. Yes, on that day the human being will be given thorough news, but it's not like the human being's blind now. Rather, the case is that the human being, عَلَى نَفْسِهِ, against his own self, بَصِيرًا, is fully insightful. There is one person that knows so much about you, and nobody else knows about you. And besides Allah, and that's you. You have an insight into who you are, what your flaws are, what your limitations are, what your capabilities are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what opportunities you avail, what opportunities you get lazy about. You know that about yourself more than anybody else. And you and I decide to lie to ourselves. We just decide we're not going to have an honest conversation with ourselves, and about ourselves with Allah. We don't want to have that honest conversation. For some people, all they want at the end of their life, what is success to them? Maybe I'll own a house. That's success for them. Maybe if I have this much money, that means I have success. Maybe if I got married to this one or that one, maybe that means I have success. But I go back to what I started with. There are some people who are happy with doing just the minimum. Just the minimum. But I am here to tell you, the young people in the audience today, Allah has blessed you, and I am telling you, He expects great things from you. He does not expect the minimum from you. There are so many Muslims, the only thing left of Islam is their name. That's the only thing left. They don't care about salat, they don't care about halal and haram. They're far from this deen. What can I do to further this deen? What can I do I shouldn't just be happy that so many people come and attend Jumu'ah. Does that mean everybody's heart is clean? Does that mean that we don't need any more reminder? Is that what that means? Or are there evils in our society? Are there youth that are turning towards drugs? Are there young people that are just living their life for no purpose? All they do is play video games and watch movies and go to sleep. And if you ask them for a purpose, they say, I want to graduate and get a job. Is that a goal? Get a job? Allah gave us such higher goals. Your job itself is a means to a higher end. But you know what? We are living in strange times. The people who need the da'wah the most today are the Muslims themselves. But even if you get a good job, but you don't do your job. You got the job, but you show up late every day. You got the job, but you don't finish any projects. You're sitting there at the desk wasting your time. You're going to lose that job. Somebody else will come and do it for you. You will not keep that job even if you qualified. Qualifications are not enough. You have to do the work. Allah Azza wa Jal is giving all of us, He's already qualified us. We are people of La ilaha illallah. We are already qualified. But that doesn't mean we're doing the work. If we don't do the work, if we don't concern ourselves, if we don't care, then you know what's going to happen. إِن تَتَوَلَّوْا يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالَكُمْ. You turn away, and Allah will replace you with a nation other than yourselves, and they will not be like you. They will not be lazy like you. And those are when young Muslim people have real iman, when young Muslims have real strength in their belief, then they have the power to change the world. They have the power to make the world a better place. But when young Muslim people don't have real iman, they don't have real conviction, then they are a waste of space. They are a waste of society, a waste of a generation. The only thing in their life, the most important thing in their life is when is the next movie coming out. The most important thing is when is the next iPhone coming out. The next most important thing is, man, I wish I had that car. That's it. Your life doesn't go any further than that. My teacher used to say that Islam is similar to climbing a mountain. You know, when you're climbing a mountain, you throw a hook and you climb. If you throw a hook not very high, then you will only reach that much. You can't reach any further. If your goal is money, if your goal is a six-pack, if your goal is a car, if your goal is a promotion, if your goal is entertainment, if your goal is girls, whatever your goal is, then you're only going to get that. You won't get anything else. But if your goal is something higher, to serve something more than yourself, you don't live a selfish life. You want to live for the sake of Allah and for the benefit of others. That's how you want to live. Then you will benefit yourself definitely, but you will be honored in the eyes of Allah because you set your goal much higher. Our deen in this beautiful ayah, Allah Azza wa Jal describes it, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي. This is my path. A sabil is a path. And you know what? Allah did not say in this ayah, قُلْ هَذَا دِينِي. This is my deen. Tell them this is my religion. This is my Islam. This is my truth. This is my book. He didn't describe it with any other language except this is my path. And all of you know a path is like a journey. So Islam itself is being described as a journey in this ayah. What does that mean? That means in any journey you have to make progress, right? So even if you take one step, you are more closer to your destination than the day before or the step before. Every single moment you are making progress in a journey. And in this ayah, Allah's Messenger says, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, this religion of mine and this religion of yours and ours, Islam, is a journey, which means I am supposed to do something more for this deen than I did yesterday. And I'm supposed to do more tomorrow and more tomorrow and more tomorrow. I'm supposed to go further.